know. Sorry.
I've seen that sometimes.
I'm trying to move up to you. You guys want a little more track so the others can see?
Yes, perhaps. Oh, no, this is what's cool. Oh, that one wasn't very good. I got a little bit of the aorta. Oh, I don't want to ask you about that.
Oh, come on. Ugly. I can bend down. Okay. Does that help? Yeah. Thank you.
Tall people in the back. All right, you can see the trachea. It looks like a vacuum cleaner hose right here. That's the trachea. Going down to the lungs, these are the lungs. The serous membrane is associated with the lungs. Pleural membrane. So this attached to the outside of the lung, what would you call that? The membrane that's on the organs itself? Visceral pleura. Then it folds back on itself and like lining the rib cage here, what would you call that membrane? Exactly, parietal pleura. And what do you call this thing right here, you think? Diaphragm. Now here's where I get tricky. What's this layer right here on the top of the diaphragm? Parietal pleura. What's this layer on the bottom of the diaphragm? Parietal abdominal cavity, peritoneum. Tricky. Diaphragm separates abdominal from thoracic cavity, so the pleura covers that. Peritoneum covers that. Kind of cool. So these are lobes of the lung. Now in the human, you're going to have to identify the lobes. Human on the right lung is the superior, middle, and inferior lobe. Left lung only has a superior and inferior lobe. Cat has a few more lobes than we do, so you don't need to know the names of the lobes in the cat. So if you look at that sheet, the things with an asterisk are things you need on the human model, not so much with the cat, because they'll vary a bit. So if you look, let's see, here's the right lung, 1, 2, 3, 4 lobes. Left lung has 3. But these are the individual lobes, a little bit more spread out in the cat than they seem to be in the human. Here's the trachea coming in. So you got one trachea coming down to both lungs, left and right lungs. So the trachea will split some of this stuff out. Basically, have one trachea splits into this side and this side. Those are the primary bronchi. So you have one trachea splits into right and left primary bronchi, go to each lung. Then, if you follow the primary bronchus out, someone get me another pair of forceps maybe out of yours. You have a dissecting set there. These forceps aren't very good. Need someone, yeah. Trying to get this blue latex out of the way that was in the pulmonary system. There's the primary bronchus, again, right here on the left and right here on the right. Now, if you follow primary bronchus out, of course, there's one primary bronchus on each side, but it's going to have to split to go into each lobe, and the branches are then called secondary bronchi. This is really getting annoying. That's not good. All right, well, tore up one side, darn it. Okay, there's a primary right here. See these little branches coming off of it? Those are secondary. Let me see if I can work on this side without making quite so much of a mess. So if I take a lobe, there should be a piece going into each lobe, and that is the secondaries. Secondaries supply each lobe of the lung. So here's a secondary here. So that was a primary, kind of this big wide mass right here is a primary. And then you see it's split into secondaries going into each lobe. Let me clear one out a little bit. So that's a secondary right there. And then once, if you pull a little lung tissue off, let me see if I can get this one cleared off nicely. So inside lobe, you have